So we're joined from the campus of the Mississippi School for the Blind by my friend, the amazing Shelley Franklin, the music teacher there at the Mississippi School for the Blind. We thank you so much for taking some time for us today. We're in the education career cluster for our college career readiness class. I've got a room full here with me at Velma Jackson High School. And we're recording this for all of our friends in Madison County schools, Madison Central, Rosa Scott, Ridgeland High School, Germantown High School, the Academic Options Center, and our YouTube channel. So thank you so much. I've been wanting to get you on here, and I finally got you on here.
Thank y'all for having me.
Now, I do want to preface this. I am taking your picture, and it is proper etiquette to tell a visually impaired person you are taking their picture. So you did say it was okay, and I am
Yeah.
taking your picture through this. So you're just such a dear friend of mine, and I just thank you so much for doing this for me. But let's give us a little background. We obviously want to talk about all the great things you do at Mississippi School for the Blind, but you are from the Jackson area and went to Brookhaven Academy, and then our paths cross at Mississippi College, where you were a music major and are one of the best piano players I have ever heard in my life. So obviously, you had a great talent for music, and then you decided to become a teacher. So tell us how that path took shape and what really drove you to become a teacher.
I think, well, I guess I will say, like, I've been exposed to music for years, ever since I was little. Both of my grandparents were music educators. My grandfather was the band director for many years at Delta State, and my grandmother taught public school music in Cleveland. She also helped him with directing the Delta Bells. I got that started at Delta State,
Wow.
and they started the
Wow.
Colettes while they were at Colin. So I've
Wow.
been around music my entire life. A funny kind of story, and feel free to edit later. When I was in elementary school, I went to the School for the Blind. And there was a teacher here at the time. Um, his name was Mr. Doyle Case. And back in the first grade, I didn't want to have anything to do with teaching. He goes, one day you're going to come back here and you're going to be a teacher at MS.
Wow.
I said, no, I'm not. So never say never.
Absolutely. And look, and I said the same thing, and here I am 13 years later still teaching when I said I never would, I never would either. But just talk about this, how you were able to learn music and able to be able to become a teacher despite having a disability.
So for years, I played by ear.
Wow.
I had to teach myself to read Braille music at MC. And so when I would do homework at night, and I had a tutor, and I guess my advice to your students, it is okay if you need a tutor in college.
Absolutely.
It is okay.
Absolutely.
That may be a little off subject, but it really truly is okay if
No,
you
that's
need.
not off subject. No, you're absolutely right.
And so I had great people to tutor me through my theory classes, and um, I had great teachers at MC. And so somebody might play the part for me, but then I would sit down and read the Braille music and essentially use the audio of a tape and teach myself how to read the music notes because there
That's
wasn't
unbelievable.
anyone that could teach me how to do that there.
Wow.
And
Wow,
so,
that's incredible.
um, but I loved it, and I had to work really hard. Um, and one of my professors told me, she said, be as marketable as you can be, get as many skills as you can because music jobs in good schools are really hard to get. And that's what Dr. Williams told me. And after I eventually started working here at the School for the Blind, I added a lot of endorsements to my license because music was not the first thing that I taught here. And I'm not even
Wow.
teaching it here this year. So,
Wow, I did not know that. That's
mhm.
really cool. Well, that's a great segue to what I wanted to talk about because School for the Blind, even though you guys are a special school that serves a special population, a lot of the jobs there you're going to see at every school, no matter where they are.
Yeah.
So obviously, you guys have teachers, but you guys have interventionists, you
Mhm.
guys have social workers, you guys have, you guys depend a lot on technology. School technology, there's a big need for that in schools now. There's a big need for behavior specialists, college counselors, behavior counselors. So just talk about some of the, oh, and I cannot not mention our kitchen staffs across the schools. We have a great one here at Belma Jackson. So just talk about all the different jobs that are in schools because people just think teacher, principal, but there are so many moving parts to a school, no matter how big or small or what population it serves.
Oh yes, definitely. We are actually in need of some assistance now. So teachers' assistants. If you want to get an idea of, is teaching going to be right for me? Um, it's a good way to find out as you're assisting in a classroom. I actually started out working here my first year as a teacher's assistant
Okay.
to get my foot in the door. Even though I had my teaching license, I started out as a teacher's assistant because I wanted to get my foot in the door. And so if some of your students eventually want to become teachers, but they can't necessarily get a job where they're wanting to teach or in the area that they want to teach in, that may be a way to kind of get yourself known, um, get some experience in the classroom, find out if that's what you want to do. So I worked as a teacher assistant here.
Wow.
And then when I did begin teaching, like I said, I didn't start out teaching music classes. I started out teaching um, life skills English.
Wow.
But yeah, we need our assistants. We definitely need those. We need cafeteria workers. Our students are here. Some of our students live on campus Sunday through Friday afternoon. So they have not only breakfast and lunch, but they also have to be fed supper.
Wow.
Our nursing staff, we have, nurses here 24, that are around the clock because we have
Yeah.
students who have
Yeah.
some unique needs.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think COVID has really changed a lot on that because even before COVID, we didn't even have a nurse here every day. But since COVID, I think the state has really seen the need for health in schools, and our nurse here, Miss Stokes, does an incredible job. I don't know how she keeps up with everything. So, if for people that want to be a nurse, but you want to have the school teacher type schedule, that could be a great fit for someone.
Definitely. We have a great school counselor. If that's something that your students, are interested in working with students um, and our students, a lot of times we have students that come in who could see and they've lost their vision. So that
Yeah,
counseling aspect is very vital. We have students
yeah,
that come to the School for the Deaf, which is a separate school from us, even though we share a lot of facilities and teachers. Um, so if you're having to, they're having to adjust to that loss, that counseling piece is so important. It is so important. It is vital. Um, we have a lot of different jobs here, like you might find in a traditional public school.
yeah, absolutely. And also the need for translators, the need for interpreters, not only sign
Mm-hmm.
language but for Braille. Because I know one thing that you guys do such a great job of over there is you emphasize bilingual education. So everybody at School for the Deaf not only has all their English skills, they are all completely proficient in sign language.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody at School for the Blind not only has their English skills, but they're all the way proficient in Braille as well. So,
We hope
how important,
anyway.
well, you talk about being marketable. Having these different skills are things that can make you marketable, whether you're going into education or not. Because, and I'm glad you mentioned about, finding resources for you as you decide to go to college, because, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about too, because, you know, obviously you have a very known disability, and and it's just amazing all the great things you've been able to do, and I'm always in awe of everything you do. It's just incredible. But it's okay to say, look, I need some help with this. These schools have done an unbelievable job of putting free mental health counseling, of putting free academic counseling. There are, especially at a small school like MC, if people want to go to the smaller schools and find somebody, these professors have office hours. They're there to help. They can find you resources. And you go and then on top of that, being marketable, getting involved in student organizations, getting involved in things outside of the classroom, because you could have a great GPA, but you just said yourself, I was a great student, but I had to be marketable in order to find a job. People have to know who you are.
Hmm. And if you have a disability, you're definitely having to show employers, yes, I have this disability, but here's what I can do. Here's what I can
Yeah.
do for your organization. Here's how I can make it better.
Wow.
Nobody owes you anything, but show people what you can bring to the table.
Man,
Nobody
you sound just like
owed,
me.
nobody owed me a job here just because I can't see. But I had to say, this is what I can do.
Wow.
This is what I can do. Let me try to find out, will this fit within what you want?
Wow.
And you may go
Um,
into an interview and find out this job is not the right job for me.
Oh
And
yeah, I've definitely had that before. Um, now, I'm glad you said that, because I say that often, and I say, look, and this applies to all of us, including me. Nobody here is owed anything, and I've been just as guilty as anybody. If anybody can say they've made this mistake, it's me, and thinking that people are going to come find me. Nobody is coming to find you. You have to take initiative, and you have to be the one to make things happen for yourself. Now, something else that you've done a great job of, that I'm just completely in awe of, is you do a great job of using assistive technology. And there have been so many technological advances for the visually impaired population, I mean, it is amazing how you guys are so able to live amazing lives that did not exist even 10, 15 years ago. So talk about some of these technological advances. And this is something that our young people can get involved in and make a lot of money doing. So talk about some of these technological advances that you work with every day.
so um, a lot of what I teach is Braille. And so I teach my students a lot of times how to use a Braille display. And what the Braille display does, I can connect a device that that has little pins, and it will show the Braille that is sent to it from a screen reader. And it's a lot more portable than a Braille writer. I teach them how to use the Braille writer too, but the Braille display is it's a lot lighter. They can connect it to an iPad, an iPhone, a um, a computer. Our students use Mac, and I'm sorry that this is talking. Um, so they can read the Braille, they can write the Braille. Um, there are apps that I use that I teach some of my students to use, and they use AI.
Wow.
There's one on my phone. It is called Be My Eyes, and it will let me connect to volunteers who can look at my camera and tell me, okay, I see this, I see what color it is. But there's also an AI component of it. If I don't feel like talking
Wow.
to people, I can send the AI
Wow.
picture and ask the question.
Wow. That's incredible.
And I use that a lot. I do use Chat GPT sometimes. Um, Not as much as maybe some other people. Um, but it's definitely technology has come a long way. I can upload a picture to one of these AI apps and get it to describe it to me.
Wow.
I can go through Facebook, and if somebody puts a picture without a caption, without saying what's going on, they just put their little picture online, and I might think I want to know what everybody's commenting on, and get it to describe the picture to me. I want to be involved. Hey.
That's awesome. But again, like we said, there's a big need for that. And we talked about it in schools,
Mhm.
especially a school that serves a special population. There is a need for technological specialists in these schools, and our technology group here at Madison County does an unbelievable job. And it's funny, I've been trying to get you for a long time. I've been trying to get them, but they are so busy taking care of technological needs of this district, they never can find a time to join us. So it really is, education, just like every other field, is going technological. And I mean, I'm using it right now. I mean, they're seeing you on a Promethean board at the front of the room, and this is going to
Mhm.
be uploaded for everybody in our district to see. So before COVID, that was unheard of, and we're able to do that now through amazing technology. And it's just amazing all the things you've been able to do when it comes to technology. And just and I'm like I said, I'm always in awe of everything you do. So I do have some questions from the students, and
Okay.
I'll get to as many of these as I can. I like this one. This is Cameron Nettles. He's in 10th grade, one of our football players here at Velma Jackson. And he asks, what is the worst part about being a teacher?
Um, what is the worst part? When somebody
Yes.
decides that they want to come in and just do something ridiculous. Um, I love teaching. I love being able to help like my students develop skills for independence. So whether they're learning to
Absolutely.
read Braille, whether they're learning to use technology, it's all about helping them become independent once they leave here so that they can
Yeah.
hopefully go out, if they've graduated from college, if they do some type of training and get a job because, unemployment among the blind, it's 70 to 75%.
Wow, man, that's unbelievable.
So,
Um,
not that answers your question, but
yeah, no, I did not know that. You have really dropped some stats on me today. I wasn't aware of. Wow. Um, I like this one. This is Erin Gaines. She's in ninth grade, member of our JROTC here at
thanks.
Velma Jackson, and she asked, um, "What do you think makes a great music teacher, and what challenges did you have to overcome to be a great music teacher?"
I think a great music teacher, there are a couple of things. I think they need to know their subject well, whether they're playing an instrument, whether they're singing, because I was a vocal major. My emphasis was voice. Um, but you have to have a love for students. So it's not enough just to be good at your craft. You have to love students and you have to have a passion for helping them be the best that they can be. And you have to
Yeah.
be willing to continue learning.
Oh,
Um,
big time.
And I'm sorry, what was the other part of the question?
Um, uh,
I apologize.
what is the biggest challenges you've had to overcome in your musical journey?
I think one of the big challenges for me, like I said earlier, was learning to read Braille music. That
Yeah.
was kind of hard. The other thing that was difficult was for me was learning how to conduct. And I still don't think I have a very pretty conducting pattern. Um, like in the conducting class in college, we had to take videos to the class so they could record. Well, I couldn't watch myself. I had to get somebody else to watch it and tell me, okay, this is what you need to work on. Well, other people were practicing in front of the mirror. I just had to practice in front of people.
But you know what? That's a great accommodation for yourself. That's really smart. I like this one. This is Cortez Maxwell. He's in 11th grade, and he asks, "What made you major in music and focus on music as a teacher?"
I majored in music because I had always liked music. I actually we didn't have a huge music program in the high school that I went to. I was in the band, um, but because music had always kind of been a part of my life growing up, that's what I wanted to focus on. And even though my bachelor's degree is in music, um, I've actually taught probably Braille and maybe English as much or more than I have taught music classes. Like I said, this year I'm
Wow.
currently not teaching any music classes.
Wow.
I'm working here as a teacher of the visually impaired, which means that I teach Braille, but then I go into the other general education classes and try to help make sure that students are getting their accommodations.
Wow, man, God, you were so talented. It's unbelievable. I have two more. I like this one. This is Jeremiah Williamson. He's in ninth grade, one of our basketball players. And he asked, "How do you show people that you are the one that needs to be hired for the job?"
I think just being willing to tell people what I've done, um, to talk. What I've tried to do too is talk about, okay, here is something that I've had difficulty with, but this is what I am doing to work through that. So when you're
Absolutely.
interviewing and people say, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? If you're going to talk about your weaknesses, be ready to tell them how you're working to improve that, how
There
you're
you go.
working to grow. Don't just say, I'm not good at it.
There you go.
And I think just being willing to continue to train and to learn new skills. And that's what employers want to see. They
Yeah,
want to see that.
Yeah, and it's all about being honest, like you said. That was I agree 100%. Now I do have this is our last one. This is Landria Wilder. She's a senior. She's our student council president here at Velma Jackson. Wants to go to the W and be a nurse.
Nice.
Um, so she has a couple questions, but I love this one. It says, with you being in the situation with you being in your situation, have you ever felt a sense of self-doubt, and how did you overcome it?
I'm sure that I have. Um, I have to remember how I've gotten through things before,
Yeah.
and that if I've done it before, God will allow me to do it again. Um, and can I just make a brief comment just for your
Sure.
students? Um, and that's not judging the question or anything like that, but you're talking about my situation. It is okay to use words like blind or visually impaired. It's
Okay.
okay to use words like watch and see and look when you are talking to someone who can't see, because I use them all the time. And honestly, some of you may talk about watching TV, and half the time your eyes are not on the TV. You may be fixing a snack.
Wow.
So it's okay. Um, and I know that was just probably kind of off topic, but
No, that's fine. No, no, look, because uh, disability awareness is always going to be important to me. So knowing these things and letting our kids know how, because when you go to college, you're going to meet all kind of people. You know, that's where I met you. And
yeah,
that was really my first interaction with a blind person. And I'm thankful for that. And I learned a lot about that in our interaction. So that is absolutely amazing that you talked about that. So thank you.
welcome.
Now, she did have a second part of this question,
Okay,
and
I'm sorry.
she asked, "What is one of the most life-changing or inspiring things that has happened to you or or your students that has made you proud to be a teacher?"
Um, I don't know if I can pinpoint that to one, but I will say seeing a student come in who is in high school as a, say, sophomore, junior, who has lost their vision completely. So they go from being able to see, doing all the things that I'm sure you do, to they're having to relearn how to do everything in a different way, and seeing that person going from no usable literacy skills because I can't see the print anymore to read it, and then being able to read and write well in
Wow,
Braille,
that's incredible.
because that means independence for them. And then that person going on to college. Yeah.
Wow. Well, we're almost out of time, and we thank you so much for taking some time for us. And please, again, thank your principal for joining us today. But the last thing before we go, and again, I just encourage everybody. School for the Blind, School for the Deaf also has a great volunteer program. If anybody wants to get any community service hours, they can definitely call the school and get involved in that. It's really, really great work you guys do over there. But as we wind down here, and as we get ready to go to the Christmas break, and as these kids start making decisions for their futures after high school. You're a perfect example of it doesn't matter the cards you were dealt. It doesn't matter what you can or can't do. It is possible to do anything if you put forth the effort and you put forth the initiative. So, how can you encourage these kids that look, it doesn't, a lot, there's so many things in your life you cannot change. There's so many things you cannot control, but there is a lot you can control.
Definitely. Definitely. Um, know what you want to do and then do it. And like my mother always told me growing up, you can do what you want to do. It might look different than the way someone else will do it,
There you
but
go.
hey, and that's okay for y'all too. You can do what you want to do if you're willing to work for it. It may not look like somebody else's path. You may not do it exactly in the same way as someone else, but that's okay. If that's what you want to do and you're willing to put in the work, then you can make it happen.
Love it. Well, I know you got to get back to work. And again, we thank you so much for joining us. You are absolutely one of the most inspiring people we've had on this platform, one of the most talented people I have ever met. And you've been such a great friend. And I just thank you so much for taking some time for us today. My friend, Shelley Franklin, teacher over there at Mississippi School for the Blind, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I talk to you soon, buddy.
Hey, hope nobody fell asleep.
I see you.